Okay, good morning. So yesterday was um, kind of a different kind of day. We moved into the hospital, and yet it's not really ready for business. We still had a truck with a major container that had to be lifted out. The material had to be taken out of there, and we have furniture that's being built. Benches for all over the place, wooden benches, so wood's being cut, and we have IKEA type furniture all over that we were building. And then we have medicine and medical equipment all over the place that needs to be inventoried. And some of it's really easy because there'll be 12 boxes of the same thing, and there's your numbers. Others will be really difficult because you'll have a room full of boxes, and in each box there's just multiple things in there. Example, I was taking inventory on a big box of glasses, and had to take inventory of the prescriptions for each one. That's not a fast process. Anyway, so I built lots and lots of bookcases, or shelving I should say, and tables, and did inventory, but really also hung with the camp residents who stay at the hospital in terms of security and helping us out and stuff. And they are volunteers, but there's prestige, there's status, because you're in this world of tiny hot tents. They're standing in this new building, by the gate. So that was kind of cool. It's hard watching people work who are fasting in the daylight, in the desert. And so I try to have my water separate from people, so I'm not like, look at me. Um, anyway, so it's difficult. So yesterday, the clinics, the modules outside of the hospital, we have kind of like a courtyard of 8 of these modules. Uh, they were finally opened up as our clinic. Now, understand, we have the generators, but we don't have electricity yet. It's not plugged in. That happens hopefully today. So that means that there's no lights, but it also means that not only is there no air conditioning, there aren't even fans. And so these are small containers, crowded, sun beating on them. It was really hot, but also this isn't a bunch of Brits waiting for the bus, queuing up nicely and politely. These are folks who come in mass and demand to be seen, and there's chaos in the gateways, and even before you see you, they are cursing you to hell because you're not fast enough, or you're not paying attention to them, or looking in the right direction. And some of the curses are so bad that the translators won't even tell us what they're saying. Um, and this is something I didn't experience in Jordan working with Syrian refugees. And I think one of the differences, I have no idea if there's a cultural difference, but one of the differences, I think, is that these are folks who are internally displaced, in their own country. And the Syrians were in another country, and I have a feeling that that puts a limit on you. You're not as safe to say what you really want to say because you might be asked to leave. Where here, they've had 3 years of being held captive by ISIS, having very little food, eating grass, watching people killed in the most horrific of ways. And they get to these very large and personal camps, and they've got a lot of anger, they've got a lot of needs, but they also, have had 3 years of, if I don't take care of myself, who's going to? And so I think, it's that pent up kind of thing. So what they're not great at, they being the people that I'm working with, is prioritizing, is this really a big problem? And sometimes there might be some exaggeration. Other times I think it just might be panicky. Because when you're held captive, a sore foot, a tooth infection can end up in something that could kill you. So we all talked about it, and they have a plan of how to control the crowd, give them numbers, make them wait in different places, have security coming in for it. And so hopefully that'll help. My guess is that today, tomorrow, and the next day is going to be actually harder because people resist change. But once they get used to it and know that we really mean it, that should help. So I'm not sure what I'm doing today. I might be hanging with World Vision, who's having a psych presence in the camps, and we'll be working with them. And so that might be useful in terms of helping to develop the programming here. And so I think I'll be doing that, but I'm not sure. You notice by now things are pretty darn fluid here, and they need to be. You know, this is the first time that a hospital's been built in these camps, and built and opened before it was ready. And so you go in there, and what you're seeing is very quickly utter chaos being transformed into order. Look in the pharmacy, and 3 walls, everything's been counted and organized, and the 4th wall, it's a huge mess. But it's only been 1 day, and we already got 3/4 of it done. So it's kind of exciting. Seeing all the furniture done, now we have to move it. I'm sure that they're going to be working and getting things going for a long time. But the goal is to have the hospital open, ready for business. Business is the wrong word, but ready to be used in 2 days. So in terms of Mosul, you know, again, they anticipate it to be a long fight, a harsh fight, the kind of fight that really says that there'll be bombardment throughout the evenings probably, and going in incursions during the day. People are escaping, and April and her folks at their clinics that we showed you have been dealing with people coming out who just haven't eaten. They're just emaciated and stunned, and so they're taken care of briefly and sent to the hospital or the camps. There are people who come in who have been wounded and are being taken care of, and then there are people who come in to die. And so it's already begun. And so, but I've seen East Mosul and seen what liberation looked like, and liberation is good. You know, people walking down the streets, shopping, talking to one another, not being afraid of men walking around with guns, seeing them as their protectors. And so, hopefully I'll get to do some one-to-one counseling today. But if that doesn't happen, programming is a much bigger contribution on my part, because it has a lot more impact. And so either way, I'll be happy. And last night, Dylan made this fantastic curry, and wondering why his curries were so good. Well, of course, he ran a curry shop for 3 years. This guy has done everything all over the world. He's quite the dude. I really am happy to work with him. I think that's all for now. I'm starting to babble, and it's starting to get a little bit warm here. So from the rooftops, from Erbil, Kurdistan, ciao.